Now, Prince Harry opened up about his family life and his future plans in an interview with ABC's Good Morning America. The Duke of Sussex and his wife Meghan are currently in Canada ahead of the Invictus Games next year. He spoke about the health of his father, King Charles, who's recently been diagnosed, of course, with cancer, saying sometimes illness can bring a family together.
How was that visit for you emotionally?
Look, I love my family. The fact that I was able to get on a plane and go and see him and spend any time with him, I'm grateful for that.
I've also found in my own life that sort of an illness in the family can have a galvanizing or sort of reunifying effect for a family.
Absolutely.
Is that possible in this case?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, throughout all these families, I see it on a day-to-day basis. You know, the strength of the family unit coming together. I think any illness, any sickness brings families together.
So joining us now on talkTV is the royal biographer Hugo Vickers. Hugo, it's a beautifully shot interview, but what did we actually learn from what Prince Harry told us?
Well, I shall try to be more informative than he was, because all I learned from the interview was that he had reached his destination. He still has a beard, he still can talk, and he was there. He didn't say anything at all of interest whatsoever, in my view. Would you agree?
Well, there was, if I were to pick one thing out of it, it was the fact he did not dismiss out of hand becoming an American citizen, and the idea that whatever he is in line to the throne, but a prince of the realm should...
Son of the king.
Son of the king should even entertain the idea that he might have to swear allegiance to a republic. I found very odd.
Well, yes, you say that, but the point is that the question was put to him by the interviewer, and he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. I don't really think he said anything. He certainly wasn't volunteering the idea that he was contemplating becoming an American citizen. I mean, he lives in California at the moment. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to sort of be more positive about this. Okay, he didn't tell us anything about the king's illness. He said he was glad to see him. Well, I imagine he would say that. He didn't say anything at all about what it was like being a father, except that his children had a nice sense of humor. And you know, he's out there, but I presume he was there to be interviewed about other things. And as usual, as happens with these things, he'd given all these questions which he wasn't really prepared to answer.
So I suppose, Hugo Vickers, maybe what we've learned from this interview is that Harry is trying not to put the boot in to the rest of the family, is trying not to ruffle their feathers, and is perhaps achieving that a bit better than he has in the past.
Well, that's extremely generous of you. But yes, of course. I mean, he certainly didn't make it any worse, did he, by anything that he said this afternoon, or in his case this morning. He certainly didn't make it any worse. But I think this would have been a very inappropriate moment for him to do so. But I think we might just cast our mind back to, you know, to think that actually in the past he has said some quite unpleasant things. And what I think has been so great about our king is the fact that he hasn't responded to any of them. He's left the door wide open for his son. And the other day, when he heard that his father was ill, Prince Harry took the opportunity to come through that door for a little while and go and see him. And I hope that was a tonic for the king. I'm not sure if it was, but I hope it was, because I'm sure he minds bitterly about the you know, the distance between them, you know, physically and metaphorically.
So given that he has agreed to an interview in which he reveals nothing whatsoever, it does beg the question why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are doing this. We've had the launch of the website, we've had them on the slopes, and now we've had this first interview in a long time. What's the purpose behind it, do you think?
Well, they've got to keep themselves in front of the public eye, haven't they, in order to keep the dollars coming in out in America. I mean, there's been a bit of controversy, which I could tell you about the coat of arms on the podcast. I've written a piece in the Daily Telegraph today in which I've picked that apart very effectively, I think. And actually, you know, when you write something in a newspaper, you normally get the most hostile comments. On the whole, I got some rather positive comments for once. I don't know what that means, but
And Hugo Vickers, just explain to our viewers what the point you were making about the coat of arms was.
Well, the basic point that I was making was that they shouldn't be using it because you know, most people, when they see a coat of arms, they can't actually read it. They just see a coat of arms, but it's definitely a royal coat of arms. And therefore, in a sense, it's going back to the one thing they were told not to do, which was to exploit their royal status. So if you put a royal coat of arms at the top of a podcast, that is doing exactly that. Now, the coat of arms that they've actually used is Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex's coat of arms, because it's got Prince Harry's royal arms on the left and her arms on the right, his supporter on the left, hers on the right, and the coronet. But the thing is, it's all wrong. If they're going to use it, they might as well get it right, because well, I don't know how specific you want me to be, but it's
I'm
the coat of
afraid
arms.
not at all, as we're running out of time.
But we get your point.
We get the point that what they did does not meet with your seal, your royal seal, or any other seal.
And also, don't listen
approval.
to too much praise, Hugo, because that means you have to listen to the critics as well.
Quite right, too.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. No, it's funny. It's usually get very hostile comments, but basically my point is they should not be using that coat of arms.
They should not be using that. Well, we thank you very much, Hugo Vickers.